Hi, I just finished watching a documentary on YouTube called The Working Man's Death, and I wanted to make a quick video about it, sharing my perspective and experience with it within watching it, especially with regards to the part where you see those people selling the skins and the heads of those cows with the big horns, which is a quite horrific image. And obviously, um, something like that, my first reaction is, oh, I want this to stop, and why is this people doing that? But so when looking at the starting point of the people actually doing that to those animals and believing themselves to be doing a good thing and believing that that is what God wants them to do, and God gave them that particular job and God wants them to do this. The starting point is always survival, obviously, just as the starting point of every being in that documentary was survival. That made them do those jobs that they did was just because they want to survive in this reality. So that's actually fear of death, and it's the fear of death within human beings that makes them go and abuse animals and go and um, abuse earth and basically do things that destroy and are very destructive in nature, and not really consider what it is they're doing or the impact of their actions. Um, so like the people working in those coal mines or in factories, they don't really stop to consider what impact that the work that they're performing has on the earth, the consequences of their actions, or on the animal kingdom or anything, because they just want to survive. Um, and it's easy for me to go and condemn that and think, oh, they're destroying the earth and they're destroying animals and they're abusing blah blah blah. But really, when I look at my starting point in my own life, which is basically a life of luxury um, compared to their life, wherein I can always and I've always been able to feel good about myself and consider myself to be a good person. And though my starting point of participating in a consumerist society um, has always also been fear, has always also been fear of death, wherein I basically just kind of adapted to my environment, to the society that I live in, and I just adapted to the way my family lives and the way society lives, which is basically consuming, consuming everything and always searching for a good feeling, and which is the capitalist system, and that's how I've been raised and that's how I've adapted myself, always just looking for that positive feeling experience within myself, wherein I go and buy products always more and more, and I consume. And that's just not because I'm a better person or something, because I have more money so I can participate in doing apparently good things or doing things that make me feel good inside about myself. Um, but it's basically just because the starting point is fear as well. Even though I have money and even though my family has enough money to provide for all of us, and even though, I have enough money to buy everything I need to live comfortably and to have food every day and water and everything I need to live comfortably, still um, there is a really big fear of death within myself that causes me to basically do things in my life that are very blind to it causes me to be really blind in everything I do and to not consider the consequences of my actions when I go shopping and when I consume and when I buy products and when I watch movies or basically consume. um, the reason why I don't consider, for example, the point of where do all the products that I use come from? Where does the milk that I drink, where does it come from? How has it been manufactured? Or the chair that I sit on, or my coffee machine that I use every day to drink the coffee that makes me feel so good inside, or any kind of product that is here and that I use, or my clothes or anything. I never considered asking myself those questions of where does everything comes from and what is the impact of my actions in this reality and what am I actually doing when I participate within the consumerist system and within the capitalist system. How does my country affect the rest of the world and how does my actions affect the actions of my country towards the rest of the world? What am I actually supporting when I'm going out shopping and when I'm consuming or when I'm just speaking empty words to my friends and family just so that I can feel good inside? What is it that I'm actually supporting? So the reason I never ask myself these questions is actually exactly the same point as the reason why these people that we see in Working Man's Death go and abuse animals, for instance, or go and do things that are completely disregarding um, the impact that their actions have on other beings or on the earth. It's just because they fear dying, and just like me, I fear dying, and I just want to survive. Because of that fear of death, it makes me just want to do basically anything that will enable me to survive, which it makes me completely blind. This fear blinds completely, and it will make me just adapt to my environment, make me just do anything to be sure that I can live and I can survive. And it turned me, for example, into a consuming machine, wherein I've just been consuming my environment my whole life, and I've never, ever, ever asked any questions concerning anything I do, anything whatsoever. Um, how I feel, why do I feel that way, or you know, where does it all come from? Nothing. It's like I've just been blindly following my environment because of that fear of death, because of the fear of being rejected, the fear of being pushed away out of society, and the fear of being alone. So it's obvious to see now that it's that very fear that lives within every human being that has created the current mess that we're in, which is the current society, wherein you have those that are like me, who are on the positive polarity point of as the rich countries who go and get their products and resources from the poor countries, as what we see in Working Man's Death. So you have the one polarity point, which is the rich countries and the rich people who can afford basically everything and who consume at a very fast rate everything and who shop till they drop and who, just consume, consume, consume. And then you have the poor countries at the opposite polarity point in this world who are being consumed and who are being exploited, being abused, and who are being leached off by the rich countries, being sucked dry. Um, so it's this fear that lives within each being that causes people, that causes beings, that causes all of us to not consider what we're doing, to not ask questions, to not stand still with our very actions in every moment and consider how does what I do at this moment affect the whole world and has a consequence on the whole world? Which is a very big problem because we are seriously consuming the planet and we're consuming each other and we are allowing a lot of abuse to exist within this world, and we are blind to it because of this fear. So that's our problem that we have at this moment, wherein we just don't ask questions. I mean, we don't investigate, we don't do any research, we don't ask any questions as to why is this world the way it is, and how does this world came to be, and what is all this? Where does it come from, or anything? So also that's the reason why we don't seem to find any answers, any solutions, and we're just basically stuck in the current fuck up, which is our capitalist system, which is the debt system, wherein we're spiraling down very fast, out of control, yet we don't seem to be able to stop it, and we don't seem to be able to find any solution because we're just blinded by our own fears. And here in the equal money system will bring an end to this fear, because an equal money system will really truly provide everything that every being on this planet needs to survive. It sounds impossible, but it's really not. So if you go and investigate www.equalmoney.org, investigate the equal money system, and there's a lot of information about the equal money system in blogs and vlogs as well. And you will see and realize just how simple the principle of an equal money system is. And it's been designed and created by human beings who have been able to stop this fear within themselves and actually look at the world and investigate the world. And they've realized that actually change is very possible. You just have to open your eyes first and realize yourself here in this planet, on this planet. Um, yeah, so once we stop that, once we are able to stop that fear, then inevitably we will start looking around ourselves, we will start investigating our reality, and we will start standing still with who we are and what we're doing in every moment of breath, because there's no more fear that is blinding us and that is making us do things just because we want to push that fear away or something. So it makes us do crazy things like consumerism that is actually unacceptable behavior. So investigate an equal money system.